Alright, this is what we're going to be creating today. It's a 3D circular text effect. Let's go ahead and get started. Go to Composition, New Composition, 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS, and then a duration of 15 seconds. Hit OK. We will call this text. Grab your type tool. Go ahead and type out your text twice. Like that. Font size is 177. The font I'm using is Neue Haas Grotesque Display Pro in 95 black. This is on Adobe font, so you should be able to find it. We'll change the font color to A67C3F. This is pretty desaturated. After we add a bunch of lights and blurs and stuff, it's going to saturate the color quite a bit. Now we'll grab our ellipse tool, select the text layer, and go ahead and create a ellipse right on top of it. You want it to be centered, something like this. Under the mask, set it to none, and under text here, under path options, we're going to set it to the mask, just like that. And these settings should be good. Reverse path is off, perpendicular to path is on, and then force alignment is off. Set your type to 3D. And make sure you're using the Cinema 4D renderer. Under renderer options, just bring it all the way down to 1 so we can move around the scene pretty easily. Hit R, bring up your rotation, and change the X rotation to -90. Then roll this open, and under animate, we want to enable per character 3D. And we want to add an animator of rotation. And under X rotation here, change this to 90. Under geometry options, change the bevel style to convex, bevel depth to 5, and extrusion depth to 50. Go to the top view, and there we go. You can see the text a little bit better now. Now we need to adjust some spacing issues here so that we sort of fill this gap area. One of the things we can do is change the tracking to help with that, and increase it. Set to 0 for right now. We'll come back to, we can go ahead and increase the font size a bit. Something like that. Come back to active camera. Before we start to actually rotate this in the way it's going to look in the end, it's going to be easier for us to light it first, and then we'll rotate everything all at once. Trying to add lights to a weird rotation like this ended up to be kind of difficult to do, so we're going to add the lights first. Layer, new, light. This is going to be a point light. This color will be FFB04A. Hit OK. Fall off is at none, and then the intensity for this will be 100%. We'll go up here to the top so we can see what we're doing. This will be our key light. We're going to put it right over here. Now this key. We'll duplicate this. We'll call this our fill. We're going to move it over to the right. Go to layer, light settings. Color for this will be 9287FF. Hit OK. Intensity will be at 150%. And then duplicate this again, and we'll just call this a center light. And this goes right in the center. The layer, light settings, and the color for this will be 6120D8. And this intensity will be 200%. Now go back to the active camera. We have some lighting looking pretty good. You can grab all of it and just shift it down a little bit, I think. Grab these lights, move it under the text, and we're going to link, grab the pick whip here and link it to the text. Now for the text, hit R for rotation. This Y rotation, we're going to change it to 13. And we're going to take this X rotation and we're going to rock it back a little bit. About something like that. To -107. Let's roll open the text. Go down to Material Options. Go down to Material Options. And we're going to set the specular intensity to 75 and the reflection intensity to 75 and the reflection sharpness to 60. Roll that up. We'll grab our HDRI, drag it in. This is totally free. I'll leave a link in the description below. Right click and change it to an environment layer. And now we're getting reflections on our text. Fantastic. Then we're going to add a new camera. This will be 15 millimeters and OK. And then the position for this, 960, 540, and then the Z position will be -658. Actually, we'll have to make an adjustment on this. It's closer to the center, move it down. Bring up the rotation for our text. And we'll roll back our X rotation a little bit more. And then also, under the animator, we're going to turn up this X rotation so it rotates the text outwards a little bit. Maybe around 101. And then we'll just bring back the Z a little bit to give us a little breathing room. That looks pretty good. Let's open up path options. Under first margin, let's do Alt and click, and then type in time times -250. This will automatically rotate the text for us. And there's our rotating text. You can increase or decrease this number to make it faster or slower. We'll grab our text and drop it into a new composition. We're going to duplicate this twice. We'll actually call this composition render. Hit Control or Command Y. We're going to make a black solid. Put it on the bottom. So this, we're going to create a background from this text. So go ahead and bring up Scale. Uncheck the link. Set the scale to 613 and 5. So it's super long. And then we're going to add an effect, Reptile, and just expand it both down and up. There we go. Just like that. And then bring the opacity down to about 15%. If we want the background to curve. So, I mean, there's a way we could do this where we make it a 3D layer and bend it, but it's just easier if we create effect, we use CC Lens. This adjustment layer is going to affect everything underneath it. And we're going to change the size to 230, and the convergence would be 100, so we have this bent background. You can see a little bit better if I turn up the opacity. You can adjust the opacity to your liking. This will be our main text layer, and then the very top text we're going to add a directional blur. Set the direction to -45, the blur length to 610, like that. We're going to set the transfer mode to add. And then the layer opacity to 60%. You can dial that up or down if you'd like. We're also going to add another adjustment layer. Call this curves, and we'll add a curves effect. We're going to add a little bit of a S curve to give it some contrast. Then we're going to do a layer new solid. This is going to be black. We'll call this vignette. Go ahead and double click our ellipse. Set it to subtract. Feather it way out to something like 350 or so. And then for opacity, we'll bring it down to 35%. And that is our circular text effect for rendering under your text layer. Come up to Cinema 4D render options, and you can turn the quality up to about 55. That'll get rid of most of the anti-aliasing issues. All right, that's our circular text effect. Not too complicated. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks so much.